All right, it's starting to pour rain, but that's not going to stop us from what we're doing. I think we want to continue on our way here with this project, and we're going to get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ralph the Oliver Man. In the last rendition of this, we got all the way to trying to tighten down the first connecting rod, only to find that our new old stock nuts were not the right size. To which I had great, debate on what to do. I didn't know what I really wanted to do. I even called that Oliver guy and I said, this is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire phoning a friend, and I want to get your opinion. And we hashed that out a little bit because neither one of us has ever really come across this nylon lock nut situation. So I eventually arrived at these, which came from McMaster Car. These are grade 8 3/8-24 nylon lock nuts, heavy duty, vibration resistant. And I thought all of those words sound like nice things, so we're gonna go with that. They did have some that looked like the regular style rod nuts, which they call like a torque lock nut or something, where they're actually split. They look kind of like castle nuts on the end, but not really. But I mean, this is what AGCO shows in the parts book, and the only reason I didn't buy from them was because I'd have to buy 100 at a time, and they looked like the same thing you got at your hardware store off the shelf. So I didn't feel like there was anything to gain by doing that. I feel like these are better, but only time will tell. So basically, we should be good to go here. On this number 1, it's all the way down. I've got one bolt holding the pan up to keep it clean. So we will do that. I'm going to set my torque wrench a little on the heavy side of the range. I think the range is like 46 to 50. So we're gonna be closer to the 50. And we're gonna hope that that does the thing we want, because I don't know. That's all we can do. I don't know that... Oh, now the electric went out, so that's nice. So apparently, well, we don't need electric to do this anyway. But what I was just about getting ready to say was, I don't know that you'll really be able to see underneath what I'm doing, so I may just have to bring you back when I got stuff happening up here, up top. I don't know. I'll debate on that and do some tests with the camera and see what I come up with. All right, you shut off from being too hot, but I got it where they both are there. It was like on this one especially, one click at a time. There's no room in here. But that one checks out. That one checks out. So we're gonna hope that we're okay. I mean, this is a new ball game for me. Nylon lock nuts, but I mean, the other ones were in there for a lot of years. It wasn't a lot of hours. I gotta make sure of something that I'm not... Uh-oh. Something bad's happening behind me. Get myself re-canoodling here. I'm overthinking this because, I mean, okay, I hope we're good to go. Like I said, I've been a little bit nervous just because of the way this is. Now we'll go up here and we'll put some more in. All right, now we're going to turn this over, and boy, she goes smooth. That's just what we want. Beautiful. Alright. Should we do number 6 now? Since I just put it back at the... I think we will. We'll go out of order. Who cares? Let's go over here now. And, interestingly enough, I have a feeling my number 6 rod has been replaced. Because it has no numbers on it at all. At least no number stating what position it's supposed to be in. Alright. Off-camera things are happening. You don't worry about off-camera things. Yep. Just oiling up my stuff. If you want to put them in dry, that's your business, but I'm not doing that foolish thing. Alright. We're going to get our bearing. Put it in here. Oh, awesome. Not prepared, I guess. My bearings are still wrapped up in plastic on this one. I like to do a test put together just to make sure that everything's going to play nice. So it's taking me a minute to get all set up here. Oh, that was not nice. Piston ring compressor. That was not nice. Oh, it came all the way apart. Okay, sit there a minute. I like how it decided to just not play the game anymore. It was all lubed up and ready to go. Ah, it feels like I'm taking a lot of time, but I am, because I want to make sure it's right. Good there. Good. Alright. Now I'll go back under and repeat the same process as before. Alright, number 6 is in. We're going to roll it over again. Let's see how much drag we have. We definitely have more drag than we did before, but nothing out of the ordinary. Very smooth, very acceptable. Now what do we want to do? 2 and 5? Or do we want to do the 2 that I have? What's at the bottom right now? Three and 4. I don't care. We can do whatever we want. They're all getting put in there, one way or the other. This is probably going to prove to be super boring to you because stuff and things. But because I got to go real slow to make sure that I don't do something stupid. I'm not in this for you, I'm doing this for me. So we want to make sure that we don't destroy anything, because that would be sad. After all this, now we're out of bearings. We need to get more bearings. Should be right here in this box that's next to me. See, I like to put the thing together and look at it out here to make sure it's all going to be what we want, and then we'll immediately throw half of it into the dirt so we get to start all over. Which one we got here? 3? Number 3. Do we have it faced the right way? Front? Yes. On to the next one, and so on and so forth. All right, it is about 4 in the morning. Can't sleep. And the reason why is because this tractor engine overhaul is hands down the worst I have ever done. And I literally mean hands down. That is the result of a trip to the emergency room after getting severely injured doing this. And let me set the scene for you here. Everything was going great, and I still don't know what's wrong, and that's why I'm out here, because I can't sleep thinking about why this is happening. But everything was going great. Number 5, putting this in. It went in and went about halfway down, and I thought the next tap of the hammer I thought took a little more than what it should have. The hammer handle, you know, because I just usually tap them down, as you saw, with the rubber. And when I say more, I don't mean like a whole ton more. I mean, it just 99% of people probably wouldn't have noticed any difference, but I did. I thought, I don't know. And this is after stressing over all of these rod nuts and everything, and just not, I don't know, everything about this has just not made me happy, because I don't know. I think it's because I care more about this tractor than some of the others, I guess, so I don't want it to fail. So I guess that's why. But at any rate, got it down on the crank, went to put the rod cap on, couldn't get it to jump on there the first time, and I thought, what's going on? And, you know, took it down, looked at it, nothing wrong, went, put it back up, went right up. So I thought, okay, no problem. Tighten the bolts. Went over here to turn it, because like I said, after every one, I like to give it a 360 to see, you know, that everything's still going good. Well, it's locked. It would not turn. So something is not right there. So when I was turning this, if we can reenact the scene here, because even I don't know what happened. This happened like super split second. What happened to cause it was the fan belt broke, and I was pulling on the blades with this hand and pushing on the belt with this hand, and when the belt broke, it slingshotted my hand. I would imagine that is probably part of my hide right there on the edge of that, and it looks like it drug down this way. Yeah, because there's pieces of hide all the way down. So it laid my hand open pretty good, and I didn't even know it. I mean, it didn't hurt. It didn't really bleed much. And when I tried to, you know, was looking at what just happened, went on, I pulled my hand back and I got to looking at it, and I thought, hey, that ain't good. I could see multiple layers of whatever is inside of you. And I thought, that's, I don't know. It reminded me of, you know, like when you were in school and you saw the cutaway of the earth and all the layers of the earth. It looked just like that. There were multiple layers of things, and I thought, better go to the house and clean up, because I was covered with oil all over my hands and whatnot. So I got out of here, had the truck sitting there because it was raining earlier, and I thought, you know, I'll have the truck here in case it starts raining. So I got in the truck, backed up to the house, cleaned up, got to looking at it, and I thought, it's should I just tape it up and forget it, or should I go to town? And the more I got to looking at it, I thought if I didn't get it super clean, which is very possible, and then whatever, it might take a month or so to heal. And if I went to the hospital, they sew it together in a couple weeks, it'd be fine. So that's what we did. I also had left my phone out here. So I actually have a second phone in the house, which most people don't know about my second phone, but that's the one I'm going to switch to when I've had enough of people calling me on the first one. So I called Dad with with that other phone, and he answered kind of strangely and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, waiting on you to take me to the hospital." And because I was holding the thing against me, pressure on it the whole time, see, because I thought it would start, gushing blood or who knows what. And so he said, "Okay, I'll be there in a minute." So he took me, and I just kept holding it, with my other hand the whole time. I had a little towel thing about this size, but the house version that's cleaner. And he took me in there, and if I'd have known it didn't really bleed that much, I could have probably drove myself, but whatever. Didn't know that's how it was going to go. So that was probably about 6:40 or so when that happened, and I got home about 11 o'clock. Okay. And I don't know. I've been laying there trying to sleep, and I just can't. I have to know why. Why is this tight? And maybe it's not really tight. Maybe it was just that belt broke. I don't know. It just seems like it's tight. So, what could this be? Well, there's several possibilities I've been working over in my mind before we dive into this and actually figure out what it is, if we can even figure it out. Number one possibility that crossed my mind is perhaps this sleeve was dropped in shipping somewhere along the line, either to the supplier or to me. Like when they sent 6 in a box, maybe this one was on the end of the box and it got dropped real hard on the end and it distorted it slightly. But the problem I'm having with that is it went right in this hole, like no issue. I tested them all where I could spin them, and it was fine. So I'm kind of doubting that. I guess it could have been machined wrong inside and made a problem, and I don't know. The other real possibility of something that could have happened on its way down, because that has happened before, is that maybe a ring broke and it's kind of wedged in there wrong, at which case when it comes back up, it's going to scar the crap out of the sidewall, and then there you go. That sleeve's probably toast. But it may be toast anyway, because I don't know if I trust it now. So I don't know. My goal would be to try to get it back up to the top, and I want to take it back out no matter what, which would mean what I need to do is take the cap off of that rod again, and then see if I can use the crank to push it back up to the top no matter what. And then see, the problem we're going to have is there's no good way to make this, to save these pieces in a nice way. I don't really want to go driving on the piston with anything that I mean, a block of wood, I guess I can, but on parts that I want to use, it just makes me nervous. I don't like that idea. The other thought I had was, if it absolutely seems like it's too stubborn to go, is I'm going to take these out, and we're just going to use the piston to pop the sleeve out as one and pull the whole thing out and see if I can drive the piston down through the bottom of the sleeve, which then we're going to need O-rings for the bottom of the sleeve at the minimum, and then see what's the problem. But I just don't know what to do. I did nothing differently than I did on any of the others, and this one showed no signs of something wrong until the last minute, and then everything has went kaflooey. All right, so one thing I got to do is try to keep my hand clean, apparently. So I got to wear a glove, and I am not a glove wearer, because people are going to say, Mechanics gloves, you should wear them. I can't stand that feeling. That might have saved my hand in this case, but in order to do what I do, I have to be able to feel what's going on. So what do? Well, I found this freebie glove that they send you in the mail for those nonsense charities like Save the Bees. And I think that'll be enough to keep my hand reasonably clean whilst I still do the thing. So I guess to the ground I go. And then I'm going to take the cap off of that rod. And then we're going to try to turn it maybe. I also had thoughts of maybe I should just get the jump pack and hook it to the starter and see if I can bump it over with the starter, and if it'll roll over seemingly easily, then I'll take it out and push it out on its own. Makes a guy wonder, doesn't it? But I mean, there is no movement of any kind. I'm kind of over it, so I think I might actually take the starter and see if it'll even bump it. Let me go grab the jump pack. All right. This is not the thing to do, but I've had enough. I mean, I've tried to be nice to it. I don't understand why it's being mean to me. Let's see what happens. Oh. That was no effort at all. So, am I paranoid for nothing? And I didn't really expect that to do that thing. So perhaps it wasn't a problem, and the extra piston just added that much more drag that my belt couldn't take it. And boys, I don't know. Does a guy take it back out of there? Or does a guy leave it alone? Because I expected it to not do that easily. I think it's too tight still though, friends. I mean, I cannot muscle it around. The starter is much more, you know, powerful, torque and whatnot. But I'm just puzzled at what is happening here. This shouldn't be a problem. Well, I'm at a crossroads again with this. I wanna just say that it's fine, but I don't think it's fine. I just don't trust it. There's something not quite the way that it's supposed to be, or I would be able to grab a hold of this front crank pulley and turn it by hand. And I can't physically do that. So, Knudsen. I think I need to pull that up out of there. But the question is, where's going to be the magic place that I do that at? Ideally with it right up close to the top, if I could get to the bolts. That way I could not have to drive it so far. I just don't know, friends. I'm going to crawl underneath and see what I think. But it is good to know that it's not locked so tight that it won't turn over. It's just that it's more than I could pull the way I was doing it. So, yeah. What does the guy do? All right. I guess we're gonna have our moment of truth. The first thing I noticed was we've got a shiny spot around the edge of this bearing cap. However, when I took that loose, it did free this back up. So that's nice. Everything there looks fine. There is no there's no broken ring that I see. I should probably have you in on this. I see nothing wrong with this. I do see stuff wrong with this though. Check that out. How do we have bearing failure immediately? Ah, well. All right, well, the only thing I see that's an issue is that for some reason, either my bearing didn't get seated right, or like maybe it got shifted when I was tapping it down on there. Some stupid reason. But it's weird. It's a weird wear pattern for an instant problem. But I see nothing, ouch, I can get it hurt again. I see nothing on the sleeve that looks bad. I see nothing on the crank that looks bad. The crank's got oil on it from me having oiled everything up, but I see no reason why it did that to me. It's like it was a fluke. So, all right, well, seeing that there is no problem, my next inclination is, well, I'm gonna get this other half of this bearing out, and then we'll decide. Let me find something that I can tap this out of there with. Basically, what I'm trying to get at here and tell you is I ain't reusing these bearings. Not with it having not any run time on it at all. I'm gonna just order another one, which is gonna set me back several days, but I just feel like I should start everything out the same. I did order for luck, those rod nuts came in a bag of 20, and I actually ordered 2 bags just in case there was some mess up, and that's good because here we have a mess up. I'm not going to reuse them, so those are 2 brand new ones. We can look here at these are the ones I just took off of there, but I mean, it threaded the nylon, so it is what it is there. But right now we got ourselves a 5-cylinder engine. And like I said, I'm not... What in the world could have happened here? That's scarring's from me pushing it out of there just now, but on the bottom half, one side was wore, on the top half, 2 sides were wore. The only thing that could have happened, and I didn't, did I look at that just a minute ago when I got that out of there? I wonder if I put the cap on backwards. In other words, you see how like this side has the numbers matching? If I would have flipped it around, the other way, would that have been enough? That would have changed, that would have put this out of round, probably, because see, they're machined just like they sit. I mean, they are machined as one, clamped tight. So it could have been, maybe that's what happened. I should have watched while I was taking that loose, but I was so thrilled that I got it to come out without any trouble. Well, sad news story, I guess, but also a good news story. I'm not having to pull a sleeve out. I didn't have a broken ring. I don't see any problem right now. So all I can do is I'm going to order me a new bearing. And like I said, some guys would probably be like, that's just fine. Just put that back in. Well, I ain't doing that at this point. I'm going to order a new one. I'm going to order a new bearing. I'm going to put it in. And when we put that in this next time, it should hopefully go in smoothly. And if it goes in smoothly with no problems, then we're good to go and continue on. So hopefully this was just a detour down the Sadness Express. It's going to be one of the more expensive engine rebuilds I do after I get the bill from the hospital, but I don't know what to tell you, friends. I guess the moral of the story is the radiator shroud is sharp because it sliced me open, because I can clearly see that is, yeah, it's got part of me on it still. So that's what happened. But I'm going to say that this was just a fluke. Maybe part of the problem was that the rod was, or that the piston, when it went down and I hit it with the hammer going down, that it was turned slightly, and it, you know, when it had to go on the crank, maybe that's what I felt. But this has just been a struggle, friends. Like I said, I have second guessed everything along the way, which I have never had that problem with. Almost every engine on this place I have built, and I have never had as much trouble as I've had with this one. And I just don't know. But it is better now than what I thought it was going to be, because a while ago I was just laying there thinking we were having a major meltdown. So I will call them on Monday, and I will tell them I want one new rod bearing, and then we will try this all again. I need to put this piston and rod back in one of those Cosmolini bags there that it had, because I don't want that to get dirty. I'll just hold it here till we're done. But yeah, like I said, so a lot of guys would probably just roll on and pretend that didn't happen, but no, I'm not waiting on this to get stuff planted, so there's time. I'm going to order another bearing. We'll try it again, and we'll make sure that everything goes right. Why do I hear a rooster? I don't have chickens. That's weird. Ghost rooster? Sure. Okay, well, at any rate, I'm going to call this one here before something else bad happens. And hopefully in the next few days, we'll be able to button this up. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.